I'm Jennifer with Jenuine Locs. Come watch me boss.
With the ladies on top, we're breaking boundaries, making moves, no time for insecurity, no time. We're chasing dreams, creating legacies. Boss Ladies Podcast, where we speak our truth. Yeah. Boss Ladies unite, we're reaching for the sky, empowered and strong, we'll never be denied. From the boardroom to the stage, we're making history. Boss Ladies Podcast, it's our time to shine. Come and join the ride.
Listen, welcome back to the Boss Ladies Podcast. I'm your host, Hope, and today I have Jennifer of Jenuine Locs in the studio. You are about to hear an amazing journey from an amazing woman who has been bossing. I don't know yet, but we're about to find out how long she's been bossing. So welcome, Jennifer, to the Boss Ladies Podcast. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited that you're here. We were in your studio on Friday doing some behind the scenes. So you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready? So tell the people a little about you. Where you're from, what you do.
So I was born and raised here in Orlando, Florida. Right now I'm doing locks full time as a master lock extension, or loctician is what I like to call myself. So we can start back from the beginning. I did not start out doing locks.
Okay.
Always wanted to do hair, but I come from a family who pretty much everybody went to Florida A&M.
Oh!
So doing hair was...
Boo! We wildcats up in here.
So that was like, no, you can always fall back on that, go to school.
Right.
So I went to Florida A&M. Life had other plans. I ended up finishing at Tallahassee Community College.
Shout out TCC. I went
Right.
there too.
So came back home. Life happened again. Ended up having a kid, getting married. Life just started, right?
Right.
So after working retail management for a while, I'm like, okay, this is too much. Schedule is always changing. Overnights, if you know anything about merchandising, that's warehouse visits, floor moves, and I have a little one at home.
Right.
So I tried my hardest to like make it work because I like what I was doing.
Right.
But eventually I stopped, went back to school. So
Okay.
I went back and studied for my bachelor's at Columbia College.
And what?
At the time, it was business administration.
Okay.
I did finish and eventually just moved it to general studies. I have a minor in business, minor in psychology.
Oh,
So
another psychology major. Listen, y'all need some help. Hit Jennifer up.
So after that, I tried to find a 9-to-5, right?
Okay.
So I'm working on my bachelor's. I want a 9-to-5. This overnights and everything is not working. But it was the hardest thing to do since all of my background was retail management. So I did a bunch of temp jobs, and then eventually life happened again. Divorce happened. So I'm in a situation where I'm home with my mom, and I have this kid, and I'm working temp jobs.
Okay.
But at the same time, I have always done hair on the side.
Oh, always. So that was always
done hair
going.
on the side.
Okay.
It's always continuing to go. Anything from sew-ins, quick weaves, you name it. I was doing everything outside of the realm that I'm doing now. I did everything. Locks, braids, you name it. So at some point I decided I'm locking my hair. I was turning 30.
Okay.
I did a big chop, stopped wearing weave, you name it. So at some point, my brother got married, and his wife did not want me to wear my locks in the wedding.
Oh.
But she was nice about the way she asked me.
Okay,
She's like,
okay.
do you mind putting a sew in? I'm like, no. I had already started thinking about what I'm going to do, but I gave
Right.
her some heat. No, I'm not doing that. I'm like, can I extend my locks? I had been doing research. Like, I'm going to extend them and style them the way everybody else. She was like, that's fine.
Oh, wow.
So I did those, and everywhere I went, how long you been growing your hair? Like, they look real
They
to
look
everybody.
that real.
And I'm like, technically about 9 months.
Right.
But, well, do you do other people's hair? So I started doing hair, lock extensions at home.
Nice.
Then it got to a point where I'm being reached out to by men wanting just retwist. Do you just retwist? And I'm finding everybody on Instagram.
Okay.
And I'm still living with my mom, and she's like, Jen, I don't want some random guy here getting his
my
hair
house.
done. I'm okay with women coming, but
Right.
I'm like, she got a point.
She has a point.
'Cause you never know. But women too, you never
Yeah,
know.
never know.
So I'm like, okay, I started researching, and then I started working as an assistant for my sister.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know what? Now is the time if I'm going to do it. Because it's always been lingering on the
Right.
side, and I'm missing out on money telling people no. So she's like, okay, if you're going to do it now.
Right.
And so I jumped out there, rented a studio that I was sharing with somebody else, and that was in 2016.
Wow.
And from that week, I have never went a week without having any clients.
Did y'all
Just
hear
took
that?
off.
Just like
I had
that.
no idea I was going to be doing it this long. I had no idea clients was going to continue to come. It just took off.
Because you decided that
I
I'm
was
gonna
gonna
be a
take a
boss. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm not going to be afraid. I've been
No.
doing this long anyway. Might as well make money for myself. Let me ask you a question. You said you started off in retail. Is that something that you say still like, I wish I was doing that?
Every now and then.
Every now and then.
Every now and then I'll walk into a store and I'll see like, oh no, they wrong for that. You know, like, because I
Right,
know,
'cause you know.
but not while I have little. I have a 4-year-old now. It's just, it's too much.
It's too much.
When I was in that game, I saw myself as being a district manager at some point.
Gotcha.
But it's just life happening.
Right.
It didn't happen that way.
It's not for you because
It's not.
even God knew you were a boss and you needed to have your own.
Yep.
So tell everyone, what is it exactly what you do? What's your title and what does that mean?
So I have used the title loctician, right? Because I'm not just a regular beautician, and then I'm not a cosmetologist since I don't have a full cosmetology license. Here in the state of Florida, when I first started, I did a little research, asked around, and you can work as a loctician with a braider's license.
Okay.
I believe it was 2021, July. It was time for me to renew my business tax receipt. And when I
Okay.
went to do it, well, that's when this change took place. But when I went to do it, they were like, we can't renew this because your license is showing non-existent.
Oh.
But I had a braider's license. I'm like, what you mean? I'm like, I get reported for something?
Right.
They revoke them? Like, what happened?
What
so I
happened?
call, and they're like, oh, no. In the state of Florida, there is no such thing as a braider's license anymore. We did away with
Wow.
it. And I'm like,
That works
so
for you?
I do locks, and I need to know if I'm still legal to work in a salon. Like, and they're
Right.
like, no, you're fine. You just have to have a salon license, which I already carried anyway. You just have to have a salon license. I'm like, okay. So I reported that back to them. I guess somehow the business tax receipt people did not find that out, and they were like, oh, okay.
You're fine.
So I'm fine. Yeah, state board come in, check everything. I'm fine. We're just under certain guidelines that we have to, if whatever salon you're working on, they may require that you do the health exam and that type of thing, but we have to renew those anyway.
So ladies, if you're interested in being a loctician, you want to reach out to Jennifer so she can tell you how to get started. It's not even, you don't
It's
even need
not
a license. And there's a lot of women out there that do really good braiding.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you're already a braider and you want to take that next step,
You no longer need a Well,
You wanna reach out
the
to
thing
Jennifer.
is, that license, you were not allowed to wash hair. So we take so much heat. Braiders don't want to wash hair. You can't wash
You
hair
can't
with a
wash
braider's
hair?
license. No. No.
Why? Oh, interesting.
I never knew. I don't know. Unless you're working underneath a cosmetologist, something
Gotcha.
like that.
Okay.
And also, you weren't allowed to use artificial hair.
Oh,
So you're only supposed to be.
interesting.
It's like you are governing us for something that you don't even teach
Right,
in school
in
for
the
us to go to
schools.
school. So until they figure that part out, they're stopping us from making money. It's
Yeah.
kind of not right. So it's under. I believe the lady explained to me that I'm under a specialty salon. Is how they categorize it now.
We'll take it. Specialty
Right.
salon.
Yes.
You're still open, still making money. That's what matters. So let's get into what I was into some years ago when I first started my first set of locks. I know it has a cultural
Yes.
significance, history to it. How do you deal with that? Do you have customers that ask those questions or they want
Not
to?
really. As far as I know back with the whole Rastafarian nation and that, it's not my background, not my
Right.
culture. But most of them freeform their locks.
Okay.
So it's something completely different than, those are dreadlocks, from my understanding. That's something completely different than locks, which are manicured.
Right.
So I kind of don't consider my locks being dreadlocks. There's
Dreadlocks.
nothing dreadful about them, and I'm not doing them to rebel. I
Correct.
just don't want to detangle my hair, and I want to
talk
still be
about it.
cute.
Exactly.
So for me, if you want to get into all of that, you can, but I think it keeps perpetuating this stigma behind it, and I don't want to keep that alive.
Me neither.
There's no reason for me to talk about that. Like, we have locks. Our hair is tangled,
it's
yes. It's matted, yes, but it's manicured, and it's clean, and it's cute. So that's all that matters to me. So
I have manicured locks, not
Correct.
dreadlocks.
Right.
All right, so let's get into the business aspect, because that's what everybody want to know. You said, Mom said, hey, I can't have these people coming out. So how did you get started, like looking for the salon? What were the pros and what were some cons?
So I worked in a salon studio with someone who had been doing hair for years. I worked as her assistant.
Okay.
And I liked the idea of her and just the client, or me, her, and maybe 2 other clients.
Right.
I don't like the idea of a huge open salon, especially because some people have scalp issues or patches, or they're insecure about their hair. I just like the one-on-one.
The personalized,
Yeah, and so I've sat in salons where you have all these chairs and all these people and conversations, and sometimes it's overwhelming.
Right.
Or there's a hairstylist that happens to work in a barbershop, so now you have to come in and your hair look crazy and it's men in here. You know, I just didn't like that atmosphere, so I like the one-on-one thing. And also because I'm gonna be honest, I was a little insecure about being in there because I'm new and I didn't go to cosmetology school, and I know it's not required, but I don't want somebody looking at what I'm doing. It was that aspect a little bit.
Gotcha.
So I just started looking for private studio salons as cheap as I can find one, and I did find one. And it was a lady going out on knee surgery, and she needed somebody that can split the rent with her, and they work on different days. And if we worked on the same day, she took morning, I had a part-time job, I come in the afternoon, so it just worked for a while. But I thought that route was better.
I want to say, and I'm sure a lot of women listening are saying thank you, because a lot of people don't consider that as women. When I go to a shop, you got guys in here, or I might be insecure, or I might just be shy. You know, sometimes it's not insecurity, and you got all these people, everyone's talking, but no one's talking to me, and I'm here to see you, and it's kind of, you feel a little left out. So I think that's very considerate of you to go into like a smaller space. That's nice. There are a lot of women going to reach out to you for that reason.
I get asked that question a lot too.
Really?
Sometimes. Are you in a house? Are you in an open salon or private studio? Okay, good, because I don't like. It's like hearing that, and then when sometimes business can get rough, and I have had the thought, I'm gonna just go rent a chair, and I've started mentioning it to clients to see how they were gonna react to it. Jen, please don't do that. You can go up on the price, but please don't.
So they say go up on your price before you leave.
I will pay more because it's a part of the experience.
It's intimate, yes. Y'all hear that? Jenuine Locs gives you an experience. So much so, she just said that her client was like, don't leave, just up my price. I like this atmosphere. Yeah. That is beautiful. So that means that they are very connected to you, and what you're giving them while they're there, they appreciate that. All right, so let's dig into your services. You're not a braider. I know you can do locks, but are there different types of locks? Starter locks, maintenance locks? Talk to us a little about that.
So I specialize in lock extensions. That's what started me here from the start. I do protective styling over locks. I do starter locks. We can do micro locks. Like, I am a certified trainee for sister locks. So I know the system. I have not perfected 3 heads yet to become a consultant. It's a huge beast, and I'm just not comfortable with it yet. However, micro locks, I'm using the same system, but I'm not necessarily using the products, and I'm not fully certified, so I don't call myself a certified sister loctician. That's a conversation for another day. Those are completely different things that people don't
you're coming
fully
back.
understand. We coming
back.
So I offer any hair type.
I
have a few Hispanic clients. I have a couple Caucasian clients. I can work with any hair type. I do crocheting with the needle. I do interlocking. We can start from braids, interlocks, you name it.
Okay, so you can, a woman, a man can have braids in their hair and go straight to locks?
You can start from braids, yeah.
Nice.
There's pros and cons to it.
Right.
It wouldn't be my first choice, but some people do, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about those of us who do have locks. What are a few maintenance tips that you would share with us?
The first maintenance tip that I would share is to keep a clean scalp.
Okay.
That is something that I struggle with my clients because, nah, Jen, that's your job. This hair too much. I'm not doing all
That's
that. Well,
me.
you need to come in more, ma'am. You can't. They already think we don't wash our hair. It's a lot. I get it, especially when your hair get as long as mine.
Yes.
It's a lot, but it's a sacrifice that you have to make.
So keeping that scalp clean,
Yeah,
okay?
because that can make or break your whole set. If your scalp is dirty and it's flaky and you're getting scalp problems and flakes going off into the lock and you wonder why you have buildup, well, it's not necessarily product. It's dead skin cells. Like, it's a lot that goes into it. And if your scalp is not clean, you having all these other issues. My scalp is always dry. Well, when's the last time you washed it? When you washed it. Girl, I haven't seen you in a month.
Wash your hair.
What kind of oil can I use? Does that oil? I was like, that oil is not doing anything but adding to the dirt.
buildup.
Wash your hair.
Wash your hair. So you and I were talking before this show, and you were telling me that something you struggle with, but you're getting better with, because she's here, is networking and accepting invitations. Share a little bit, like, why is that a struggle for you?
It just depends on where I am at that moment in my life. Like I told you, this is not the first time I've been invited on a podcast. The first time I was invited, I got hit with 2, like, back to back, and it was right after I had my daughter. Got back to work, got 2 random new clients who had just started podcasts. We hit it off during the appointment. They both invited me, and I'm not going to lie. I gave them the runaround until they finally stopped asking me. And it was on new motherhood and business. And in my mind, I'm struggling. Like, this is.
It's been perfect for you.
I didn't know that. In my mind, how I'm going to tell y'all that what to do to get through this when I'm struggling. And I just wasn't in a place to do it. And recently, I just felt like, I want to do the podcast thing, and I'm like, somebody gonna ask me to go on their podcast. I think I passed by both of their pages on Instagram, and they doing so good now. So I'm like, somebody gonna ask me. And then Kia came in, hey, can we do this style? Because I got a podcast and I'm about to be on. She never said anything about the questions.
No.
She hit me up the day of and was like, it went so good. I love them. She was like, don't be mad at me. I hope it's okay. But I gave them your name, and I'm like,
she did.
I smelt it coming. But I was grateful, though.
Shout out to Kia. Thank you. So let's talk about women who influence you. Do you have any women in your life that influenced you to keep going when it was that hard time you were going through, when you were looking for your place, when we're women, when we're going through some stuff, sometimes we need each other. Who is in your corner? Always.
My mom is in my corner. I would say
beautiful. What's mom's name?
Rosemary.
Shout out to Mama Rosemary. So what is one thing you can remember always, no matter what's going on, that mom's told you?
You can do it.
Period. Just go and do it because you can.
Yeah, you can. And if you think that you can't, then you won't.
You're a little emotional over there.
Very. Yeah.
We need some tissue. Talk more about that, because that hit you. Let's come on.
I don't want to cry.
You can cry. You look good. You're setting some women free. You're helping some other women that knows a little bit what that means.
When you've seen cards stacked up against somebody and you don't see them stop, that helps you when you want to stop.
That's right.
Especially if you think at the time that your situation is bigger than theirs was. Nobody, you can't say that, because you don't know what affects somebody.
Exactly.
So somebody can say, I've been through more than that, yeah, but I'm not you. So this little bit might feel to me what that felt like to you.
That's right.
So I can't compare the situation, but if I saw you get over yours, then I know I can get over mine.
Amen. And I like what you said, because we have to be careful as women, especially, to not knock another woman down and say, oh, girl, that's nothing. When we know internally it's something, because we went through it's nothing to someone else. So never belittle someone's experience, because their experience is not yours. And what you went through would kill someone else. Right? So let's continue to uplift each other. And thank you for sharing that, because you're helping some lady out there. You can do it. Tell them, Jennifer.
You can do it. I did it. doing it.
It's right, and she's still doing it. So we're almost done. I hate that we're almost done, but let's talk about your future aspirations. What is next for Jenuine Locs?
So I have plans to take the knowledge that I have. Since I'm self-taught, I'm still learning, but within, I kind of give myself a 3-year goal.
Okay.
I want to be teaching classes. And I'll start with maybe a e-course.
Okay.
I've taught one-on-one courses before, maybe just let somebody come in and shadow me.
Okay.
But before I sell that, I want to cultivate it a little bit more. So that's something that I'm working on. And then I do have a product line that I'm narrowing down.
Yay. What's the name?
It's Passion Locks.
Okay.
I'm narrowing it down. I did start off with about 5 products,
Okay.
4 or 5 products, and I wanted to see how well those sell from in-house.
Okay.
I did bring you 2 oils, but I didn't want to do anything with them here just because they're not available for sale yet outside of the shop. So I did bring you 2.
How it is.
And so those 2 things. I don't see myself expanding the salon so much, but maybe trying to step from behind the chair a little bit.
Awesome. Coming more into the spotlight and teach.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, let's say a lady calls or comments in the section and say, I want to do what you're doing. Can I reach out to you?
Yes.
Yes. She didn't even hesitate. She said yes. So tell everybody how they can get in contact with you.
You can reach out to me by going to genuinelocs.com. I am at Jenuine Locs on all social media platforms. And you can also shoot me an email at genuinelocs@gmail.com.
But let's make sure everyone knows Jenuine is not spelled with a G.
It's a J.
It's a J for Jennifer and Jenuine Locs. So 2 things you would tell a mentee, because a lot of times as women, we don't even know people are watching us. Someone's watching you. What are 2 things you would tell them?
The first thing I would tell them is do as much research about the craft that you are interested in as you can. And the second thing is don't be afraid to connect with somebody who's already doing what you want to do or who has done it before. Sometimes you will feel like, well, they got it their way and maybe they don't want to help, and maybe you'll reach out to somebody who you thought would help you and don't, because I experienced that too.
It happens.
And if you internalize that, then maybe you don't reach out to anybody else, and then you wake up and find yourself by yourself with no network.
Awesome.
And that goes a long way.
It
I would
does.
tell them that.
Networking is very important, and I believe as women we do it really, really well. So let's be there for each other. All right. Shout out 1 to 3 other women in business that you want to come on the Boss Lady podcast and highlight them.
I'm going to highlight my OG client. She was my very first client.
Okay.
Since 2016, I've watched her go from a chef to a business owner. She owns a coffee shop, and I believe Winter Haven, called Cup of Eden.
Okay.
And so I'm going to shout out Alicia Philistine, and I'll give you her information.
Oh, Alicia, Cup of Eden.
Also, I would like to shout out my stepsister, Allegra Muller, Late by Lele. She's been doing hair forever, and I learned a lot of what I know as far as running the studio from her.
Awesome. So, Allegra, we're going to wait to hear from you. She's going to give me your information. So, anything you want to leave with the ladies today? These are the bosses who are watching you today. What do you want them to know?
Just keep doing what you're doing. It gets hard sometimes. Things can feel like they're piling on top of you, but that's just a part of life. There's ups, there's downs with business, as in anything else in life. And don't forget to spread love daily. That's
right. Spread love daily. So listen, ladies, Jennifer has just given you her secret sauce. Keep doing what you're doing. No matter how hard it gets, it's going to get better. And ladies, remember that we can do whatever we want as long as we keep moving. Thank you for joining us here. Thank you for coming, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.
We hope that you come back because we want to see the passion oils. I'm going to tell y'all how it works on my hair. And we thank y'all for checking out Boss Ladies Podcast, and we will see you all next week. Have a great day. Later.
No time. We're chasing dreams, creating legacies. Boss Ladies Podcast, where we speak our truth. Boss Ladies, you